Hello, today I'd like to say a few words on the tightness of weaving, which depends on the intervals between the loops. The shorter the intervals between the loops, the tighter the item is. And it looks quite different from the item with larger intervals between the loops. It is because in case of larger intervals, the tubes of the base are more visible and the pattern looks different. This point is worth your attention. It is better to decide from the very beginning which type of weaving to choose, either dense or loose one. Depending on your choice, you will add new coils either more frequently or more seldom. I consider my weaving medium. The tubes of the base are visible, but the intervals between them are not big. It is the type of weaving I have chosen for myself. Well, it is what concerns tightness. If you'd like to keep the weaving equally tight all along, you have to add new coils when the item is widening. Otherwise, the intervals between the loops would be getting bigger when the item diameter is getting bigger. At this stage, I'm going to narrow my item. It is going to be a kind of etui or jewelry box. Well, the intervals between my loops are rather large so far, which allows reducing them with no additional tricks. Now I'd like to draw your attention to a very important point in root weaving, which discourages many newbies. Well, at least this laborious method is the way weavers used to work earlier. Modern root weaving technique is mere pleasure, so I'd like to focus on it. In order to enjoy the process, the only thing you need is not pulling the loops tight. Take a look, please. It goes smooth like embroidery, even though I'm currently narrowing the weaving. When you weave straight, it is still easier. Look, I lead the tube through and don't tighten it. I leave a considerable gap instead. If you can see, here is this gap. Well, it would be good to place something white behind it. Anyway, there is a hole here. What I mean is you have to leave the loops loose. In this case, I can embroider smoothly even without my awl. Here is a gap. If you don't tighten the coils, you get the loops for the following row ready, and you don't need any additional tools. Just embroider. I've read a lot of feedback from those who've mastered this trick, so they say you just can't put it down, so much involved in the process is. So the properly prepared loops make the process meditation-like. It's pure poetry. I don't tighten the current coils, preparing the loops for the following row, and the previous row has been prepared for enjoyable work. Don't let this temporary looseness of the coils discourage you. We are going to fasten them with the following row. As you can see, I've got them fastened immovably. As for the currently row in work, the loops have to be loose and flexible in order to make the process of weaving easy. One more essential point to let you enjoy your weaving. It is very important to prepare the tube properly. Take a tube and soften it, but not up to the very end. This end has gotten drier, but not completely dry. I mean, from one side I softened the tube up to the very end. This dried end is easy to lengthen. Now, while the rest of the tube is soft, the tube end is rigid, which makes it easy to work with as if it was a needle in embroidery. Now you know how important it is to prepare the tubes properly. These tubes were painted long ago, coated with a mixture of varnish and water, and have been kept in the freezer so far. I've taken them out before starting to weave, and it is the way they behave. The ends that have dried out a little allow working with no awl. Well, it looks like I've shared most of my key improvements inspired by experience of other weavers. The only point left is the way I lengthen the tubes. It is what I'm going to show you in the next masterclass.